So here I have a very basic Microsoft Word document that will enable us to demonstrate the use of page breaks and section breaks to alter the page numbering of a document. This is going to be really important for your thesis, so hopefully this video will be useful. Before I start looking at page numbers, I just want to show one more function within the section breaks and page breaks dialog. If I head to page layout, and then under breaks, you'll see we've got experience of using both section breaks next page and page breaks, as well as column breaks. Now also under section breaks you'll see there are some other kinds. The even page and odd page will create a section break, and then it will ensure that the next page starts on either an even or an odd page. This can be quite useful when you are formatting a thesis if you want, for example, chapters to start on a facing page, but for the majority of people these tools are not useful. The section break continuous enables us to break the sections of a document up, but it does not start a new page. These tend to be quite confusing, so try to avoid them if possible, but they are needed in certain circumstances, such as when we use master documents or when we start to look at how to do columns, so those kinds of tools. Generally speaking, with all section breaks, however, you should try to use them sparingly. If you can get away with using a page break, then you should do that, because that will start the new page without affecting the formatting of the document. Now that that's been reviewed, we can start to look at how we can use this section break next page to divide up our page numbers. So we need to replace some of the page breaks that I've put in this document with section breaks to be able to do this, and as you can see I've gone to my home tab and I've turned on the show formatting tool so I can see where my page breaks are. Now the first one that I'm going to need to replace is on my title page itself, because I want my title page to have no numbers, and so that's going to have a different section. So I've deleted that page break. I can now go under page layout and insert a section break next page. The next section that I'll need to start is down here in between chapter 1 and the end of the start of my document. So if I go to my table of tables, I can delete this page break and once again go into breaks and switch it to a section break next page. And the last one that I'll need to do will be at the end of all of my chapters and just before my appendix. So I go to the end of my last chapter, which is in this case number 3, I delete the page break, once again go into breaks and put in a section break next page. The reason I'm doing this is I need a different numbering in each section. So if I head straight to the top of my document, my title page doesn't want any numbers on it at all. When I head into my table of contents, my acknowledgements, table of tables, table of figures, I want numbering, but I want that to be lowercase Roman numerals. I will start my normal numbering with chapter 1 before switching back to Roman numerals for my appendix, but this time capitalised. Now that I've divided my document with the use of the section breaks, I'm able to do this. So if I head to the beginning of my document, and I can ignore my title page because this is going to be clean of numbers. So the first time I need to start inserting these will be on my table of contents. If I go under insert and then header and footer, you'll see I'll have access to enter these sections of my document. If I click on footer and then edit footer, Microsoft Word opens up my footer and puts me into it. So I can scroll back up to the top of my document now, ignore my title page, which is section 1, and head into section 2 where my table of contents and table of tables will be. So in section 2, all I want to do is go to page number, and at the bottom of the page I'm going to insert a page number to the right. And you'll see Microsoft Word has done that for every single page in the document, and that's fine because that's what it's going to do by default. But now that we've done this, it enables us to start formatting these numbers to look like we want them to. So the first thing that we need to do is head into section 2. So this is where our table of contents starts, and it's absolutely vital that we sever this link to the previous section. Now that I've done that, I'm free to return to section 1, my title page, and delete this page number. If I did not remove the link first, it would have removed the page numbers from every single page in this document. You can see page 2 and 3 are unaffected by this now. However, these numbers are not formatted correctly and are not starting at the right number. So to do that, I need to highlight the number, and while still in my header and footer, head to Format Page Numbers by clicking on Page Number and then Format Page Numbers. In here, all I need to do is, instead of starting the numbering from the continuous section, from the previous section, I start my numbering back at 1, and I tell Microsoft Word to do this in a lowercase Roman numeral style. As soon as I click OK, you'll see that has updated, and I have a title page with no numbers, a table of contents in lowercase Roman numerals. As I head into chapter 1, you'll see it switches back to normal numbering, which is just what we want it to do. However, this needs to be switched to start again from number 1. So the first thing I need to do is sever the link to previous, because we don't want any of those formatting choices to carry through. Now that I've done that, I can highlight the number 3, head to page number, and once again format page numbers, and this time the number format's correct, but all I need to do is start the page numbering at 1. As soon as I click OK, you'll see that has updated and has not affected my previous section. And so I can now scroll down to the bottom of my document. You can see the numbers are correct all the way through, and I need to once again edit them for the appendix. So this time I'm going to get into my first page of my appendix. The first thing that I do is I remove the link to previous. This will sever the connection between the two, once again enabling me to edit this without affecting previous sections. So I'm going to highlight the number, go to page number, format page numbers, and in here I'm going to start my page numbering back at 1, and then I'm going to change my number format to the capitalised Roman numerals and click OK. This means I can now click out of the heading and all of the page numbers in my document are correct. And the best way for me to demonstrate this is if I head into my table of contents, I'm going to delete this placeholder text. And as we did in the previous tutorial, I'm going to head into references and insert a table of contents. And you can see I have lowercase Roman numerals at the start of my document, I head into normal numbering for my chapter, and I return to capitalised Roman numerals for the end of my document. And that is how easy page numbering is in Microsoft Word.